I knew from the very beginning that this guru is something special.
Baba is a revolutionary par excellence. He brings change in every area of life.
Baba to me is the oneness of everything.
It's a very miraculous, very powerful person. He gives love so
Indira
much.
Gandhi got it in her head that Baba would be her downfall.
My guru is in jail because he opposes this whole system.
He propounded one theory known as PROUT, and that was the cause for persecution.
Baba did not come randomly to this planet. He came with a mission, and he came at a critical juncture in history. Baba initially described microvita as the mysterious emanation of cosmic factor. All that I understood was that microvita are like a green screen. When you can control them, there's very little that you cannot do.
You see, of course, some demonstration was done on me also. So demonstration means, spiritual demonstration means, suppose we are doing meditation. So actually, what are the feelings when your mind comes to different chakras, different plexus? Or there are so many experiences Baba used to make experience to our margis, workers also. So we used to come every month and we used to enjoy at least for that week, very nice. Suppose many different type of demonstrations. His life can be converted to his life. When your personality converted to his personality converted to your personality. You see, everything is play of your psycho-spiritual and your physical, psychic and spiritual sphere. Suppose if we change your existence and we put in my existence, and so many experiences were there. Baba used to do, and then how do you feel? Or suppose how many experiences, go put your mind in 100 years before. Where were you? Baba, I am seeing mountain or something like that. I am saying, then Baba told, yes, he was a great sage at that time. But there are many experiences of Baba used to make, those up to 68, 69, up to 70. Then Baba was shifted to Patna. And then of course so many things they came. At that time the government then became against, and Baba was arrested.
Then during his discourse he told, today I would like to give a historical demonstration. He told, this demonstration was given by Lord Krishna to Arjuna 3005 years back. That is demonstration of the visualization of the universal form, Vishwarup Darshan. So all margis got allotted because we had read in the Gita how this Lord Krishna gave demonstration to Arjuna on this Vishwarup Darshan. So all were at attention. So Baba told that I will give this demonstration. So he took my name and he told that I should come forward and sit in front of him. So accordingly I came nearer, closer to him, and I sat in front of him. Then Baba told me that I should concentrate my mind in Sahasrara Chakra. Sahasrara Chakra here. Then he touched this eyebrow center, Agya Chakra, with his stick, and he gave me divine vision, special vision. And then he told, let my mind should be deeply concentrated in the Sahasrara Chakra. As Baba told, accordingly my mind was concentrated deeply into Sahasrara Chakra. Then Baba told, as you have concentrated your mind in Sahasrara Chakra, so you see what you are visualizing, what you are seeing, what do you feel? So, the moment he told I should concentrate, my mind was deeply concentrated in Sahasrara Chakra. And after a moment, I started doing dhyan in Sahasrara Chakra. So, when I started doing the deep dhyan, then I had a strange type of experiences. I saw as Baba's physical body was dissolving, as his physical body was dying, dissolving. So, I had a much fear, because I had never had this type of experiences that his body is getting dissolved. Right. The moment he told, don't get afraid, still go more in deeper dhyan. Accordingly, I started doing dhyan, and in my deeper dhyan, I saw what I saw actually. I started having a intense bliss. As my each and every pore of body was thrilling with the divine experiences, and then I saw a white effulgent light floating on the head of over my Sahasrara Chakra. And while seeing that white effulgent, I felt as I was floating in the ocean of bliss. So, Baba told, whatever you are visualizing, you should express your feeling in front of everybody. Then I told Baba, I am seeing on my Sahasrara Chakra, there is a effulgent light, and while seeing that light, I am getting immense happiness, immense bliss. Then again he commanded for the second time, let I should still go more deeper in my dhyan. The moment Baba told that I should still go deeper in the dhyan, then my mind was completely absorbed in the deep dhyan. Then what I started seeing, that I was seeing effulgent light floating over my Sahasrara Chakra, and over the light what I saw, Baba was sitting in his divine form.
What did that look like?
Yeah, his body, though he was not in the body of the flesh and bone, not in the physical body, though he had a physical appearance, but in the form of the divine effulgent. But he was sitting in the Barabha Mudra. This was really fantastic, incredible. And while seeing that form, I started losing myself. So, Baba told, what you are seeing, visualizing in dhyan, that is the real form of Anand Murti. Anand Murti is a embodiment of bliss, and he is a bodiless entity, he is a spiritual entity, he is a devotional entity, he is an additional entity. Anand Murti is not a physical body. So, this is the real form of Anand Murti, he is a formless.
Towards the year 1987, Baba started giving philosophical topics, practical topics, demonstrations that were so far outside of my realm of knowledge, so far outside of the historical traditions of Tantra and Tantric philosophy, that I was largely lost. One example of that was Baba's theory of prama, meaning dynamic, equilibrium, and equipoise, a way of moving with proper balance. We've always known that the way, the spiritual path, the ideal path is the middle way. The Buddha said the same thing, but Baba took that concept to a new level with his exposition of prama, dynamic, equilibrium, and equipoise. It also had relevance to the way in which politics is conducted, the way in which a government makes choices between conflicting possibilities. You can do one thing, but if you do that, you won't be able to do the other. And how do we balance things up and move society forward in a healthy fashion? We had simplistic understanding of this concept. Baba took it to a new level, demanding a type of perception that is inherently intuitive. And so the concept was out there for us. Baba gave examples of the triangles of forces that we need to balance up for prama, but I can say quite honestly that I didn't understand it. I can't implement it. Another good example of this is Baba's theory of microvita.
The idea of microvita was given in 1986. And in the following 4 years, Piyasaka gave a good number of discourses. So during the 90s, these discourses were ventilated by a good number of intellectuals in the world, but they couldn't make really sense out of it. And the general people, they picked it up, they didn't understand it, and then they used the word microvita in an inflationary way, so that finally by the end of the 90s it became a joke, and people were making jokes about this very serious issue. So that was painful to see that an approach which is so resourceful, which is so helpful, mostly to bridge the big gap between Eastern and Western thought, is becoming useless by being inflated and finally joked.
Trivialized or
trivialized, yes.
Misunderstood so deeply.
So we were thinking, I was thinking mostly, my Acharya was also thinking, that we have to build a better base, so that if people make a joke, that is fine and well and good, always laughing is fine, but the basis should not be trivialized, it should not be shaken by laughter, it should be solid. And that solid base we have made with mathematics. It was obvious from the very beginning that here we get something which will, at least in the future and also in all the way reaching to the future, be parallel to what we like to see in science.
Okay, well, Western science doesn't accept the notion of even something as simple as homeopathic medicine, because it's going beyond what you can see under the microscope.
Right.
So my question here is, in a world where the mind is equated with the brain, where the concept of a soul or consciousness is almost lost, and this is the big problem of materialists in the West, that they cannot explain these qualitative concepts.
Right.
How is it that you think microvita, this theory, will help us to resolve that dichotomy?
Right. In the beginning it was only felt. I felt that this is a possibility.
Right.
In the next step, with my Acharya, I tried to understand what he writes, and then to assimilate it
what
into
Baba
my...
writes?
Yes, what Baba writes, exactly. His discourses in these small booklets which we received. There were no books at that time, so we received every half year, approximately, we received these small, and we tried to understand what he says. Then in the next step, we try to assimilate it and to repeat what he said in the own language and in a format which would be understood by any scientist. That was the next step. And then slowly a possibility arose where we can put it in mathematical forms. When that was completed, we realized that we have a solution, but this solution is not understood by our audience. Then we had to find ways to bring the mathematical formulas or the mathematical findings into allegories, into comparisons, into stories, which are understood by everyone.
I see. And have you done that at this stage?
Yes, we have done it, and it is a process which continues.
Okay.
So that process will continue, and Baba has said it is a science which will find its full blooming stage in 200 years.
I see. So today you can say that it's not well accepted.
It's not well accepted, but it is accepted by those people which I'm really counting on. So it has been approved by a good number of mathematicians, and I was very happy to get approval from A-standard mathematicians from Germany as well as from the United States.
Yes.
They have looked through it and they have approved it. So the basis, I find it is solid, and to find comparisons as well as applications, that is a long process. It will take really, let us say 200 years and more.
Okay.
And we have no time pressure for that. And that is because this is a shift in paradigm on the very on the very base of science.
Right. It will transform cosmology, possibly ontology, quite possibly.
There is hardly any field which will not be transformed, because if you change the cosmology, if you change the basics of natural sciences, if you change the basics of psychology and the understanding of mind and of spirit, then all the other applications, all the applied sciences will also change.
Chemistry will change.
Certainly.
Because we won't just talk about atoms and molecules, we'll also talk about concentrations of microvita.
Yes, because Baba says that that atoms are basically not made out of elementary particles like we understand them now. There is a zoo of elementary particles, a whole lot of them, and they are the building blocks as we understand it now to form what we call the phenomenal world, the energies as well as the building blocks of matter. But he says that behind those building blocks there are microvita which are more fundamental than these elementary particles as we know them now. And they are the real building blocks. They are the real agents which are creating a link between the what we call a consciousness and what we call a physical world.
Okay. Theoretically, would it be possible to build machines that could infuse microvita or could manipulate microvita within a patient's body and somehow get a healing effect?
That is a target. That is a target, and that should be accomplished, certainly. But it is futuristic. We cannot give details nowadays. We can give details, and this is our main field, how to make out of a natural person a good person.
Okay.
And in that field, when the microvita are activated, when they are infused, or when they are activated and playing on the mental ground, then we can see the results already now. That is our main field, and that is what I can use, because I do meditation practice, and I see how microvita are helping to deepen the concentration, to deepen the contemplation, and even to deepen the process of merging with something which is beyond myself. It is very clear, and it was known to the ancient wise people, that we cannot do everything with our own wish and whim. There are some situations when we need divine help, and that divine help is provided by the divine itself or by his agents.
By his agents.
His agents are also supplying and providing that divine help which is badly needed in order to increase our the deepness of our sadhana.
So you also perceive microvita as divine agents.
Yes, they are the divine agents which help to create everything, and especially to create our mind and the content of our mind.
When you say to create everything, you mean even to create the whole cosmos?
Yes, I mean Baba says that even the atom is not made of elementary particles, but it is made of microvita. So that class of microvita, we call them physical microvita. These microvita, they are creating the physical world. And then there are the psychic microvita, they are creating our psychic world. And then there are the suprapsychic microvita, and they are creating that link with the suprapsychic arena.
But these physical microvita, are they also carbonic or non-carbonic?
No, they are completely non-carbonic.
Completely non-carbonic.
Completely. They are organizing whatever is carbonic, but they are on another level of existence which cannot easily be grasped.
Can't be seen.
Usually they cannot be seen.
The positive microvita, application of positive microvita through planes of different inferences applied on different planes of propensities on physical and psychic human body. Do you follow? It is not a miracle, it is the practical side of what I said during the speech, Renaissance speech.
Baba's teachings, even the old ones, were ever new. But these latter teachings were new on a far different scale. The earlier teachings were somehow comprehensible to me. But the new ones, Brahma, dynamic equilibrium and equipoise involving triangles of forces, microvita, the primal and most subtle building blocks of our universe, a multiverse theory involving more than one Brahma or God, and so on. These were totally path-breaking topics, and they mostly flew above my head. In some ways, it seemed to me like my Baba had moved on.
আকাশে চুমকি কাঁথা আকাশে চুমকি কাঁথা তারা হাসে ওই আকাশে চুমকি কাঁথা আকাশে চুমকি কাঁথা ওই তারারই সঙ্গে আমি ওই তারারই সঙ্গে আমি রাতি জেগে রই গো রাতি জেগে রই আকাশে চুমকি কাঁথা আকাশে চুমকি কাঁথা তারা হাসে ওই আকাশে চুমকি কাঁথা আকাশে চুমকি কাঁথা দমকা হাওয়া দেয় যে দোলা ঢলে পড়ি পলাশ বনের গায় দমকা হাওয়া দেয় যে দোলা ঢলে পড়ি পলাশ বনের গায় উড়তে গিয়ে পাই যে ব্যথা উড়তে গিয়ে পাই যে ব্যথা সবাই তখন আমায় ছেড়ে যায় আবার তারার ওই ঝলমলানি তারারই ঝলমলানি দেয় গোয়ানি নতুন করে রঙের রোশনাই আকাশে চুমকি কাঁথা আকাশে চুমকি কাঁথা তারা হাসে রই আকাশে চুমকি কাঁথা আকাশে চুমকি কাঁথা চৌদিকেতে মাদল বাজে সবাই সাজে নাচের সাজে গো চৌদিকেতে মাদল বাজে সবাই সাজে নাচের সাজে গো তোর ছো দেখে আর বাঁচি না তোর ছো দেখে আর বাঁচি না এই কথা তুই ভুললি কেন গো মোরে না ঘরকে নিলি ঘাটকে দিলি এখন আমি কোথায় যাব বল মোরে না ঘরকে নিলি ঘাটকে দিলি এখন আমি কোথায় যাব বল আজ দেবতায় আমার গতি গো আজ দেবতায় আমার গতি গো জাগে ভোরের রাতে পূব আকাশে ওই আকাশে চুমকি গাথা আকাশে চুমকি গাথা তারা হাসে রই আকাশে চুমকি গাথা আকাশে চুমকি গাথা ওই তারারই সঙ্গে আমি ওই তারারই সঙ্গে আমি রাতি জেগে রই গো রাতি জেগে রই আকাশে চুমকি গাথা আকাশে চুমকি গাথা তারা হাসে রই আকাশে চুমকি গাথা আকাশে চুমকি গাথা আকাশে চুমকি গাথা